Alright, welcome back guys. We got Porom Cosmos. Gonna bring friend twins from friend to loot. So just to start off, I didn't do any pulls on Porom or Alice. I found they're not to my style of play. I do like supports in general and I like pulling on them, but I'm not a big fan of inefficient supports. I used Aerith instead of Echo way back in the 35 CP size era, and that wasn't that enjoyable for me because the score was very hard to meet in those events. And the turn counts were pretty tight already. The most notable one is probably Sabin LC way back. You needed like 40 something turns to make the score, and it was kind of impossible with Aerith. So this fight I thought initially wasn't that hard because I brought a lot of AoE units. I bought Freya and just destroyed them in 42 turns. If you actually have Freya, I recommend her 100% because she does healing. But she also does the most damage. I'm pretty sure Furia's hit the score cap using her. He hit the 999k score. So Freya's gonna be top choice here in this fight. Dishing out the most damage, but also having the most aura for your team, most Mesh Brave aura. Meaning your output for the whole team is gonna be higher, and she heals you. So when you take that first AoE HP hit, it's not gonna matter too much, you can just heal it over the whole fight. So the strategy for us is we're gonna bring a healer and then focus on units with splash damage. So let's just jump into the team setup and the choice. We have Sarah, who is a core unit in my opinion. There aren't really any replacements for Sarah in terms of her role as a debuffer and splash unit. If you're gonna use someone like Lena instead, you're gonna have to change your whole team and bring something like Warrior of Light in Lena to prevent their follow-up HP attacks. Because Lena, she heals you, but she doesn't do any prevention otherwise, besides the debuffs, so you're gonna have to prevent breaks and stuff like that. But Sarah can do that with her double poison. The only thing that's weird is that the poison and silence, they don't prevent the AoE Brave plus HP attacks. I tried bringing Agrius, but her silence doesn't actually stop them from doing HP attacks, even though their attacks are categorized as magic HP attacks. So I just found that a little weird. We're gonna bring Paladin Cecil as a healer because I found him to be the most efficient healer. If I used Y'shtola instead of him, this team would actually not work, so I did try that team. And the reason for that is because Y'shtola's heal is not reliable. Because after you heal the first AoE damage, then you can't really get the charge back up in time for the second AoE attack. That's why Y'shtola is not really great as a healer role, at least right now. The strategy for Paladin Cecil, if you're using him, is just use one Holy Flame beginning and then save the rest for if you need to heal only. And then we got Squall as the AoE damage dealer. Now with Squall you can go pretty liberal with your solid barrels in the beginning, because most of the Renzos will be used in the last wave. Just save most of them for the last wave with the riders, and then solid barrel for against the other waves and the ghosts. And then the tactic here is to swap out Squall for the friend twins. You can do that after the summons, because if you don't do that, Squall is going to run out of ability uses. So the tactic is just to have him burst his damage and then swap him out. So he can hit cap damage pretty easily in the summon with the weakness. We got Sarah, who's going to do some AoE with her wound. And then Paladin Cecil, unfortunately, if you don't have his EX, he's not going to do any splash damage in the summon, but there's nothing you can really do about that. If you can swap out Paladin Cecil for the twins, you could. That would be an option, but I wouldn't recommend it because then Squall is going to be, dead in the water, out of abilities, and just relying on HP plus from your battery of Sarah. So it's not really ideal, and it's probably going to make your fight longer, so I would just swap out Squall. You don't need to have use all of his abilities here, because the rider's going to do HP attack right away, and you want to heal up the HP damage over time using Paladin Cecil, his passive heal as well as his active heal. So you want your friend unit to take the damage instead of your own unit. And then just gotta buff them up with Sarah, make sure the buffs are on, and then just spam wound pretty much. The fight's pretty long if you don't have enough damage. So I swapped out Paladin Cecil for Freya, and the runtime was cut in half pretty much. They beat it in like 5 minutes, 42 turns, and got 600k. So Freya is definitely recommended if you guys have her. So we got healing from the Holy Flame, and then he gets 10% per turn from his passive with his aura buff, so it's pretty good healer. I'm thinking of alternatives for Paladin Cecil. The thing is, we don't have good healers in here, besides Lena and him. Unless you're gonna bring Porom, but that means you have to have pulled on her banner. Eiko could be used, but Eiko is single target, and she does not have EX weapon, so it's gonna be kind of tough to use her. But I think she can work with Vayne. A lot of people are using Vayne, even though he's, you know, a single target. So Eiko plus Vayne is probably gonna be very, you know, good choice here. Yeah, I've never actually seen the Hollow Riders do any single target HP attacks. I think they hit it only when they're at a certain brave threshold, but because of the poison from Sarah, you just never see any of that. The only HP attack you see is the AoE HP attack when they target all. So we know another one's coming, another HP attack, that's why we gotta keep the heals up. And if you notice, the friend unit is at 0, that means Paladin Cecil is not going to get a chance to heal him fully, but that's okay. You'll get at least one heal off and then the next turn with one Holy Flame. Yeah, so that's the move that that Agrias couldn't block, Clinging Nightmare. That one's a group HP attack, group magic HP attack, but she couldn't block that, so I just found it a little weird. Okay, Squall's back. We got 2 more Renzos. You don't have to be the most careful with his skills and try to weave in his EX every time he's up, because he's a burst damage unit. So you want to get the Renzos out while his buffs are active and just dish him out, because that way he has the most max bravery and you can take advantage of the 100% AoE. Okay, we get some launches going. Yeah, if you notice, Sarah is the only support on this team. That's why she's a little core unit, because she has buffs, auras, but she also has debuffs and splash. So she brings everything to the table in the form of one slot. Okay, just gonna weave in Squall's EX ability, get his unique buff back up. You can just dump there because Sarah's gonna do AoE damage with her wound ability, so she's gonna cap damage anyway. Okay, Squall's down to 1 ability each. It's not too bad. Yeah, tried to kill C before he does the attack, but it didn't work out. But that's okay, we have 1 more healing skill, and we just use that before the fight's over. Score's pretty easy to make. It's like 350k. So I think with all the launches, you can probably do it around 60, maybe 65 turns to make that. So it's pretty generous, it's not too quick of a fight or anything. Maybe I launch, just use the battery move and just dump your brave. So my plan's coming up, I'm not really planning to pull on Pain. I don't know if I'll even use tickets, just because she's good, but I don't see myself using her in the long run. Once Chaos hits, like after a month and a half, I don't think Pain would be, you know, very usable. I haven't seen many videos of Pain, unlike Charlotta, for example. So I'm not sure about even throwing any resources there. And that is at Porom Cosmos. So again, if you guys have Freya, I definitely recommend you bring her. So I'll show you what Freya can do for your team with the score. So one swap is just Paladin Cecil with Freya, and you can get 619k score. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.